band director, I'd love to have cheerleaders and students, players to come, and then bring their families.
That's right.
And have some pizza.
That's it. We got plenty of room.
Yeah, that's
plenty of room to celebrate.
I'm thinking like, since this is our first one, that maybe next time, we start inviting everybody down and have a box out here. Say, hey, you come down and hang out with us, have some pizza, put your name in the box, and the Good Folks Pizzeria, maybe they'll get a free pizza.
Or something like that. It's a pretty good idea. We've got a birthday party just right over there to your left.
Man, I don't know whose birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, everybody!
Happy birthday!
It's all happening right here. But right now, the only people in the audience for our show is his family.
Yeah,
that's right. That's all right though.
But
good
they're going to be the loudest of ever.
Good support.
Good support.
Let's talk Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Dang, 143 points. And for a game that moved like lightning, it was as slow as molasses because you kicked off 22 times. That takes a while.
It does. It does. There's a lot of change of possessions. But it was a lot of offense on display Friday night on both sides. There was a lot of points. Not sure where that stands in Tatum's history, but in Center's history. There's a lot of history between the two schools here lately anyway.
Right,
it's probably not very often, Coach, where you have to have your kicker have an ice bath.
Yeah, we had to massage him down after the game.
He was perfect on extra points.
He was.
But I'm worried sick about your punter. We have no evidence that he can play at all.
That's not a bad thing, right?
Never got into the game.
I'm okay with not ever punting.
Well, let's talk about the pros and cons. Obviously, you're happy with your offense, but you're probably not as happy as everybody else was. So let's talk about what you like from the game.
And honestly, and a lot of people probably wouldn't see it this way, but even if the game was 7-6, we'd probably be talking about the same things. It doesn't ever matter after a Friday night. There's going to be a lot of good come from the game. There's going to be bad that comes from it. And believe it or not, defensively in the box, we played well. We didn't play very good on the back end. Our secondary, they did a few things that they didn't do last year that they didn't do in the scrimmage. And quite frankly, Cole Watson hadn't shown to be able to throw the ball.
Where'd that come from?
And so, that was a couple things there that we weren't prepared for, and we didn't adapt well. And I'm not saying that's not solely on the kids. A lot of that's on the coaches. And so our 3 down linemen and 2 inside backers being 10th graders. Now the down linemen are seniors, but the 2 inside backers being sophomores. Those 5 guys played really well all night, and they did their job. And there's a lot of good that came from that. So.
We knew going in, all the talk was the veer, the midline, the tops and stuff. And we don't see much of it. It's not going to be a district issue, so kind of worried about that. And it seemed like run-wise, I noticed that. I think it was pretty obvious. We played a pretty good run.
We played well.
I think that's what everybody was really thinking about whenever it came to center this year, was they was going to really have that running game. Dixon back there, he's going to have a great year. So that's really, I was going to ask you about how was his game, his first one, because I didn't get a chance to see it. But how was his first one? He had to have one heck of a game.
Right. He did. He averaged around 15 yards a carry. I think he had 21 carries for about 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. He got back to what we knew he was going to be. We limited him a lot in the scrimmages, but even with that, he struggled a little bit in the 2 scrimmages. But he cut loose Friday, and a lot of that had to do with how well we played up front with our offensive line. Which, if they go, he's going to go. But he ran the ball really well.
One of these days we'll have clips to go, and we can watch the clip. But I want to take you back to the first drive. Tatum went down and took him half the quarter to score, 7-0. And we have the ball pretty quick. I don't know if we had a first down or not, but it's 3rd down. And I think you hand it to Tatum, and he gets to within 3 or 4 yards. So it's 4th and pretty long. And we're talking, because that's what we do. We're talking. We're going for it, or should you punt? Shire said, they should go for it. Okay. So the ball is handed to him. He's meditating. That to me looked like just individual effort. Was that individual effort?
It was, and that was one of those things too where 2 plays prior, we were already in a situation where I was able to tell Coach Horton we're 2 downs right here. We're not playing. So with that mindset, it changes his 3rd down call. So if he knows that we're not going to punt, well, now we want to try to get some of that. If I'm telling him, hey, we're looking at punting, then we're probably going to throw it. Well, knowing that we're 2 down, we can run it, get to a shorter down and distance, and then call it from there. And,
4th and 3.5 is, I mean, is that kind of pushing where you would go for it?
Not necessarily in that field position. Maybe if we were on our own 30 or something, but we were right there at midfield, and I have no hesitation in something like that, especially with guys that we have around us. But you know, in a situation like that, our philosophy is think players, not plays, and we wanted the ball into his hands or Cash's hands to go get the first down. You know, he did. It was about a yard past the line of scrimmage. That was contact.
Stopped with 3 yards to go.
And found a way to get the run.
And that to me was, everything after that was kind of downhill.
Yes, sir.
That was pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
How about Monday and Tuesday? Today and yesterday in practice, good?
Today was much better than yesterday. We struggled a little bit yesterday, but you know, some of them are still feeling the effects of Friday night. That was a long game. That was a physical game. And a lot of them are still feeling the effects of that.
Larry, when did your game in St. Augustine end on the clock?
Oh, actually, we were running along ourselves. I mean, it was close to 10 o'clock by the time we finally got done with that game out there. We started right at 7.
Yeah.
So it was a long game.
So you had a long one too.
Yeah.
It was 10:30-ish.
Yeah, I was still going by the time I got home.
Post-game show was at 11 o'clock. We were in, and it was a very long game.
Yeah. So how are you guys dealing with the heat? I mean, not only in the practice, but I mean, I know they gave you guys some breaks during the ball game. I know that UIL had that, and we had to do that as well during my game. But how are you guys able to deal with the heat in practices leading up to the season? Because it has been a brutal summer. I can remember a long time. I remember a summer this hot in Texas.
It has. You know, honestly, we took the approach of practicing during as close as when we could to win games were. You know, there was a lot of schools when they got started, they went in the mornings, and we pushed it back till 5 o'clock. And so we went from 5 to 8, 5 to 7, and just started working through the heat because we knew we were going to play in it. We're smart about how we schedule the breaks and everything like that. You know, making sure we're getting water in them, but we really just tried to manage it from day one to where when games did roll around, that's what we were going in. Now, believe it or not, Friday night we had a cold front.
Yeah, it actually got a little cooler for the game.
That was a nifty 98.
Y'all probably should have went home and wrapped your pipes.
Yeah, exactly.
But that rain came through, and it was 90 at kickoff. It was nice.
And you got to look forward to, maybe wish you had it this year with all the heat with that indoor facility getting close to being done. It would have been nice to have during the heat this year, that's for sure. But how's that coming along? It's coming along really well.
Yeah, we're only about a week or so from being able to access it and practice in it.
Did you expect that? Were you planning to be able to use it this fall, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And initially the initial schedule would already had us in it, but I mean we're not too far off of that, so we hadn't been delayed a whole lot.
That's great.
That is going to be a wonderful accessory for our athletic program.
We've got lots more to talk about here on the Rick Meeks Show, so we're going to be taking a break here just in a second, but we'll want to thank our sponsors, our game sponsors that bring the game every week by bringing us this too. We'll hear from a couple of them now. We'll be right back with more of the Rick Meeks Show live from the Pizzeria in Center. Texas propane provider. McAdams Propane Company is your East Texas propane provider. Josh McAdams represents the 3rd generation of a family that has kept clean, efficient propane running to the facilities and farms of the area, as well as to the outdoor kitchens that make life fun. They also have the supplies that make an outdoor kitchen possible. Aware of the community, they have provided a luncheon for the first responders of our area. From the beautiful outdoor kitchen to the important fuel that keeps the engines running, keep your engine running with McAdams Propane and Center. JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
We're back. We need a red light thing.
Caught Larry with his mouth full.
Yeah, there you go. We're back on here, and big thanks to Sabine State Bank.
What's his name?
We got Chris after.
Sloan?
Chris, what we're good now? You want me to do the D or you want me to do the whole thing?
You're doing C and D. I'll do A and B with
Okay,
the
well, we're
sponsor.
ready to go then.
Yes, we're on.
We're on.
We've been on for a while.
Thanks to Sabine
I had
State
no
Bank.
idea. Thank
Thanks
you,
to
Sabine
Sabine
State
State
Bank,
Bank
for
for being so good
for
with us,
bringing
Sabine State Bank.
professionalism like this. That's what I'm telling you.
We don't get this kind of content anymore.
No, nowhere. Steve Waters was enthusiastic about
Chris
doing
wrote
this.
this up.
Yeah, my stuff. He was enthusiastic about doing this, and I really appreciate that. And we won't beat the kind of hometown personal service at Sabine State Bank. We also would like to say thank you to Ace Hardware, Berkshire Brothers, Covington Lumber. They sponsor every game all season, all year. You know, the soccer games we do, they're a part of every broadcast. We really appreciate you three. Again, that's Ace Hardware, Berkshire Brothers, and Covington. Well, Larry, football has the headlines and should. And, you know, it's exciting stuff. But
Yeah, there's some other sports going on, and I know that I know Chris has really got me into learning about the tennis program, and that's almost about 3/4 way over. And our tennis program is really good. So how's that going so far right now?
They're going well. You know, Coach Dykes does a phenomenal job. They're about halfway through district. They actually playing a match today. That's a non-district match. But they were 1-0 in district, beat Piney Woods last week, and you know, they're doing well. And cross country, they ran their first meet Saturday. They have their second one this coming Saturday. Their district meet will be coming up October 9th. We're actually hosting it. It'll be here in Center this year. And then volleyball's rocking and rolling. We have a new coach there. And
Coach Spikes,
yeah,
the
that's
greatest.
the best
You
volleyball
can't get a
name
better
there is.
volleyball name than that.
But Kobe Spikes has done a phenomenal job. You know, she inherited a team that won 4 games last year, and you know, we hadn't got to district yet, and we're 13-12. And so she has done a phenomenal job with those girls and getting them to believe in themselves and building a program.
But you know, you talk about Coach Spikes right there. You know, the new coach that's on the program. But I mean, probably always get some changes anywhere. Any new coaches coming in this year that we should know about, or any that's getting up there?
Yeah, and we had a really good year. You know, there's in the coaching profession, unfortunately, there's always turnover. But you want continuity amongst your staff. That's how you actually build a program. So, you know, this year we did not have much turnover, which is a good thing. But we did have Coach Spike, so she's the head volleyball coach, and then Megan Hendricks is coming in. She's assistant volleyball, and then she'll be head softball. On the boys' side, we added a couple of football coaches. We have Trey Hollins, who's coming to us from Kaufman. He's coaching receivers and will be assistant track. And then Tanner Lindsley, who we're hiring out of college. He is from the Carthage area. Actually graduated high school from Keller, and then played baseball at Oral Roberts. And so.
My stomping grounds up there around Tulsa.
That's it, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he's working with our running backs, and he'll be assistant baseball. But brings a lot of really good knowledge to us in the baseball world. He was catcher for Oral Roberts. His brother actually is a catcher for the Washington Nationals.
Oh, nice.
So he's been
He's got bloodline in there,
that's
doesn't
it.
he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So very excited about those 4, and then we had one at the junior high. His name's Jeremy Sykes. No relation to Spikes or Dykes.
Wow.
But, you know,
Wow.
we have our own law firm, you know, Sykes, Spikes, and Dykes.
That's good.
So, but he's coming to us, and just very excited about those new hires.
Well, I tell you too, I know that last year, I don't know if the girls basketball coach, was that his first year last year?
Yes, sir.
And he did it for, I'm a girls basketball fan big time, and and I want to try to get these guys to be more of it, but I think that program is going to be better this year. And that's a good coach. He's got some good girls, and I hope that it is as good as I think it's going to be for that guy coming.
Yes, sir. Kevin Smith is, man, he obviously knows the game of basketball, but the relationships and just kind of that part of him as a coach is awesome. And I think that's why they had an instant success. And they're going to have a better season this year.
Yeah, definitely. I know they are. Definitely are. For sure.
We
New
had-
coaches and everything out there. That's good though. And I mean, it's just great things going on in athletics.
I'm glad to hear about the continuity. That's important.
Yes, sir.
We had good broadcast too, both on the radio, KDET, and on our new site. If you're watching this, you know where it is, YouTube with NetSN. It stands for Northeast Texas Sports Network. And we're working with some other guys that kind of do what we do up Northeast Texas. So it was a good first kickoff broadcast. And so many sponsors are involved with that support the team. We're just going to pick one during the Great Meeks show every week. The first one this week, Zach's Tent Shop. That's
That means
Zach
I can get some cheaper tent. I get a discount on my tent.
Go tell them who you are,
Don't
and
tell
that's
them.
all it should take.
Just tell them who I am, and I should get a discount on the tent on my
That's
car.
all to do it.
That's all I need to do right
But
there.
it's not just tenting. They do pro audio. They do work with wheels and rims and tires. I mean, it's the full meal
package
deal.
that
Exactly.
you get your car.
On the Timpson Highway as you leave Center, on the Timpson Highway as you come into Center from Timpson. I guess that works both ways. But thank you to Zach Tent Shop. We'll hear from him now. And Sabine State Bank and Yardbirds will be back right after this, and I'll be paying attention.
Sure.
There's lots of things happening at Zach's Tent Shop.
Like tint your windows. It's one of the simplest things you can do to your vehicle, but it makes a big dramatic difference.
Nothing marks your style like a custom lift or a drop.
They got light bars and grills and running boards and a lot of
Man,
accessories.
they got all the best rims and all the best brands. Want to take care of your truck? You take it to Zach's Tent Shop.
You know, I'm hungry. What is there to eat around these parts?
Well, this is Texas, so you're probably gonna want some barbecue.
Barbecue, you say?
Yes, and the very best you can get's at Yardbirds. You just pull on up to the drive-through window. When you get there, you tell them what you want. They got good stuff.
Do you think that would be good with some scones and a spot of tea?
Nah, you better leave that in your purse. Get you a beer or a soda pop.
Yardbirds, Tennehaw Street.
That's a
So, Billy Don, tell us about Brookshire Brothers.
Well, they got just about everything. Got good produce section, a fine meat market, and oh, that chicken. Winner, chicken dinner. And the pharmacist is great, and the people there make it worthwhile. They always got specials if you pay attention. And that manager, he's a nice fella. And the thing is, you can shop at Brookshire's day or night. A lot more night after daylight savings.
Brookshire Brothers Center.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Before the show, you came to eat pizza, and we didn't have it ready, and so your family's over there, and they already had pizza, and you had to take a piece from your family,
Yeah.
and that's wrong.
We need to give it back.
So come on. Here's a piece. This is your.
The paper.
Smile at the camera before you go. There you go. There you go. That's my peace gift to the Meeks.
You know, I was gonna eat that.
Sorry, man.
I just
but
kidding.
you
I'm
can
just kidding.
probably get it.
No, I'm
from
good.
here.
I'm good. I'm fasting and doing really well with my diet, so
you're
I'm
doing-
done with pizza.
Looking good. The Forge on the square, you can work off the pizza. Come here and watch the show, then go to the Forge and work it off. They're one of our sponsors. All right. One of the things that I was really drawn to as a teacher, the teacher part of me, when I started talking to you a couple of years ago, was the 5 pillars. It's a core belief system.
Yes, sir.
And I've heard people say they have those things, but I really think it's that you walk it, talk it, and teach it, and live it. Tell us really generally what the pillars are.
So we have 5 pillars that our program is based around. It's a total athletic program, boys, girls, high school, junior. And it's 5, so we can be intentional about it. So every day of the week has a pillar. And I agree. There's a lot of people, and there's always things on the wall, and there's always sayings, and there's this and that. But if you're not intentional about it, and you don't speak it, then it's not ever enforced. And that's one thing we really work hard on, probably harder than any scheme in any sport, is working our belief system. And I think it's made a really big difference.
probably on the field, but more importantly, just with the young people,
Yes, sir.
guys, girls, both. Yesterday is the first pillar. Every Monday, you talk about the same thing.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the thing. You don't just hit it once. You drive it every Monday.
Every
What
Monday.
was Monday?
No, Mondays are ownership. And so not only do we have a pillar, we create a common language because we're real big about what we refer to as our go-to script. We want to be able to give our student athletes things that they can say when they're in a situation that applies to that pillar. And so Mondays is ownership, and our go-to script is there's two pains. And that's really kind of all we say, but the meaning of that is there's the pain of discipline or there's the pain of regret. And so, you know, when you're in practice and it's hot and I'm tired, there's the pain of discipline or there's a pain of regret. We can either pay close attention to the details in my job and what I'm supposed to do, or I can choose to maybe let somebody else have my rep and I don't do what I'm supposed to, and then come Friday night I'm not prepared. Well, then I'm going to regret that I approached practice that way because my playing time completely changed. And that's just one small example, but we're big on that. And, you know, and even all of us sitting here right now, nobody talks to you more than you talk to yourself. And you've got to talk to yourself in a way to help you through situations. And so, you know, we give our kids a go-to script. I give our coaches a go-to script, and you know, we want to exemplify positive self-talk.
Absolutely life lesson. At age 50-something, I don't do a very good job of that. I sometimes talk very negatively.
I think all of us struggle with that.
Which
Which is why we try to do those things, because we know those are problems that face everybody. And
when you're doing it the same every week, that consistency thing that you talked about, that's the way you got to have that consistency. When you have that consistency, it works out and things come together when you get that consistency.
You know, about 6% of them will play college sports. 100% of them are going to grow up to be men and women. And you know, this is things that apply to more than just sports.
Yeah. I had that talk with my English students yesterday. Few of you are going to be professional writers. Most of you will use communication, but principles about learning this stuff, that's the same thing you do when you learn everything. So I really appreciate that notion that we're kind of paying it forward. 7 o'clock next week, we're going to be right here again. There's more of this show to
Probably
come.
be on at 7 o'clock though.
Yeah, we'll be closer to 7, and we'd love for you to come and be a part of the show. Just pull up a chair and you can be a part of the conversation. It's Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. My shirt is a Watlington and Shires shirt. Steven's behind the camera. You haven't even seen him today. He's got one on too. Mooney,
Mine's in the dryer.
Yeah, yours is in the dryer. He's soaking wet. Michelle Mooney at Mooney's Emporium made them for us. She can do that for you. And there's a lot of just products in there that you don't really need made. It's a beautiful store right there on the square next to the Paynes building. Thank you, Mooney's Emporium. Here's what we want to do a sponsor. We did more of them than the last time. All right, we'll be right back with talk about next week's game.
This is a hamburger. And this, friends, is a Whataburger. A fresh 100% beef patty so big it can only fit on a 5-inch bun. Oh, there's another. Someone's going for a double. Maybe it'll be topped with melted cheese and, oh my goodness, grilled onions and grilled jalapenos. I'm not sure the speakers can handle any more sizzle. Good thing you can do more than just hear the difference. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Center Motor Company. From whatever angle you look at it, you see Ford. Ford trucks, SUVs like the Bronco, and iconic cars like the Mustang. A legacy managed by Kevin Jones and created by Ray Jones. Center Motor Company on Hurst Street in Center.
Welcome back to the Rick Meeks Show here live from the pizzeria.
come back, we need that old school audience clapping, like the overlay.
Until we get people here
Yeah, there
to
you go. That's
clap.
what I would have right there. That's what I would
And
have.
then we'll just put up a sign.
Right.
Applause. Brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Right there close to Brookshire Brothers, a small but very dedicated group that knows you by name. That's Sabine State Bank. And JBI Insurance. Joe Bill Tire has been a part of every broadcast we've done since the very first one, which was an awful video we made in Carthage. But he was there for it. We thank you. Okay, right here, I did a little research, Coach. You're 80 points last week. There are 1,099 11-man teams in the state. I didn't know that. That's more than I thought. No one scored 80. We have the scoring lead after 1 year. And there were only 3 6-man teams we did.
Right.
So it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
And the
For one side of the ball, anyway.
Yeah, right. For 101 years of Rough Rider football plus one game, we've never scored 80. So we set the scoring record. But here's the one that blew me away. The 1970s was a particularly unkind decade to the Rough Riders. Our record was something like 28 and 84 overall, or something like that. It didn't go well. So I added up all the points scored in the 70s, divided by 10 to get a scoring average for the season. In the 70s, we scored 79.3 points per season.
Oh, wow.
For season.
Yeah. That's tough.
There were 20 years that we didn't score 20.
Even though, and it was a different brand of football, but that's still
Sure,
tough.
sure. And back in the 20s and 30s, back when I was back in the 20s and 30s, right, very, very different. And they didn't always play 10 games.
Right.
But the 70s they did, and we didn't have. I was thinking, a lot of times you would score late in the game, and people kind of didn't cheer. So, another touchdown. And I was thinking in the 70s, a touchdown was something to be celebrated. Didn't score much.
Didn't score much.
Well, I thought that was
Good way to dig in on
Way to take care
the
of that.
scoring there. Yeah. Back in the 70s, come back in now. I'm looking for guys wearing the old being coached to the ball games back in the day. All right, well, we got coach has got some other things to do, so we got to get them going here. But Spring Hill coming up next week, Coach. Trying to get to 2-0. They're going to be a solid team looking to come out too. So what you guys got going for those guys, and knowing it's going to be it's still non-district, but you still want to have a good showing and want to come out there and play a good game.
Correct. I still think we're at the point in the season right now where everything is still about us. We have enough to work on for ourselves that if we'll take care of those things, we'll be prepared for Friday. And we'll do it in a way to make sure we're prepared for what they do. Coach Johnston does a great job. He's a very good defensive mind. He's going to have his guys ready to go. But we've got to take care of us. We got some things we got to get shored up. We got some things as coaches we've got to get done. And from my seat, I got to make sure the best 11 are on the field on both sides of the ball. And if we'll do those things, then I feel good about it. We're going to play a similar type of defense. So a lot of our blocking schemes are not going to change. So we're going to get that 2 straight weeks, which is a good thing. And then offensively, they're identical, which helps us defensively because we get to see it again. The only difference is they do it from the shotgun instead of from under center. But they're going to be flex bone, running the veer, and running the triple option. And so we've got to be more disciplined on the back end with our eyes, and we need our guys in the box to play like they play, and then we'll be okay. And so just got to work on those things.
Yeah, especially whenever you're seeing that triple option, that veer and all that stuff. The big thing for your defensive guys, stay at home as long as possible. Stay at home as long as possible, and you'll be good to go.
Right.
You should be there. And then get down and you get the defense working where they cut down on that point total, and you can score 80, and it's going to be good to go.
Well, that's the thing. We're not going to score 80 every week. So, but I will say this: Friday night, I think the first time in 2 seasons in a game now, to where when things were not going great, whether it be on one side of the ball or whatever, the way they talk to each other, we're finally getting through to them because it was, we didn't play, we didn't want to give up 63. But those guys on the sideline were telling the defense, hey, we got you, we're fixing to go get it back. And the offense went out and did it. And, that excites me. We can fix everything else. But if we have them in the right mindset, then it helps us fix it a lot quicker. So the way they talk to each other and actually being good teammates, because that's hard now. kids in today's generation, if somebody does something better than them or whatever, they want to talk down on everybody. They want to try to bring them down. And that's not right.
That's not being a good teammate.
That's not right in general society, but it sure isn't right as a part of a team. And so the fact that we did that on Friday night fires me up. That's been something we've been able to latch onto yesterday and today in practice. You know, we need to fix us in the field.
And I'm sure too, Coach, you can always go back and look on film and say that 63 probably wouldn't have been that if we'd have done this little here, this little here. So first game, you get a couple little mistakes too, and those are going to be fixed like that, no problem. You probably won't have that issue, As long as you can get on there and see themselves on film and know what they did, they're going to be just fine.
Correct. And it's two totally different worlds. Defensively, all 11 have to work in unison. If one person does not do his job the right way, it's a first down or it's an explosive play or it's a touchdown. Offensively, you can have one or two people do a great job and the other 9 not do anything and you still go score a touchdown. There were a few times Friday night that we didn't do anything right up front. Cash made 2 people miss and then the rest of the defense didn't catch it. It's two different worlds. Defensively, the game doesn't happen that way. All 11 have to be on the same page doing the same thing. Offensively, 1 or 2 people can get you out of a bad situation. Look at the first play of the game.
Yeah.
We make a toss. Caden gets hit in the backfield 5 yards deep, spins out of the tackle, and picks up 25 yards.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything right. Tatum just missed the tackle.
We did nothing right. First down.
And our guy just happened to be better than that.
Great athlete.
So once again, think players, not plays, right? That's it.
Sounds great. We in the future would like to have join us some of the ladies too, the cheerleaders, the twirlers, and the chaparrals. When we do that, they'll be brought to you courtesy of Gaddy's Medical Supply. We'll hear from them, and we'll be back to wrap up the show here from the pizzeria.
Gaddy's Medical Supply is your one-stop shop for all your medical supply needs.
Jack Allen, where's my ankle wrap stuff for my sore ankle?
Your ankle wrap or your Kinesio wrap?
The old guy wrap.
The ankle wrap. It's in the top bathroom drawer.
Okay, thanks.
If you are recovering from an illness or an injury, Gaddy's Medical Supply can offer you the support you'll need.
Jack Allen?
Yeah?
Where did I put the raised toilet seat?
Check behind the door.
Right.
From crutches to canes to chairs, Gaddy's Medical is there for you.
Behind which door?
The hall bathroom, Dad?
Okay.
Okay, take care of yourself or someone you love with Gaddy's Medical Supply.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, so everybody...
All right, everybody.
Look, Coach Shrunk.
Coach Shrunk. I didn't really shrunk. Just went back in time.
There you go.
Tell everybody who you are.
Blake Meeks.
And this is his eldest. And our last section is something to smile about, brought to you by Wyndham Family Denim. We do this in the post game of almost every game all year long. Something that didn't necessarily have to do with what happened on the field or on the court, but something that's just good. Something that's good about the rider. You were on the sideline, and you figured out he was going to do this about 10 seconds ago. So no pressure or nothing. What was something that just made you smile getting to be on the sideline?
Well, just how everybody was, so congratulating after the win. And, everybody congratulating the defense and the offense after the struggles and the successes. It was just exciting to see everybody, even if they did make a bad play, everybody was, they were supportive about it. And they were like, you can get the next play.
You didn't hear your dad say that just before the commercial, did you?
No, I wouldn't even listen.
He was way over
He
there.
said the same thing.
Basically, he did, didn't he?
And you noticed that. That's cool. And you play, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in 7th grade.
Okay. When your team does that and you've succeeded, it makes all the practice worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's something to smile about. It's brought to you by Wyndham Family Dental. Hey, we're going to be on KDET next week. Larry Pierce is going to be on 92.5. Where will you be?
I will be at home in San Augustine. It's our first home game on the new turf. San Augustine Wolves got themselves a brand new turf out there. So the Tennehaw Tigers are coming to town. And congratulations to Coach Barnes and the San Augustine Wolves. Got themselves a win last week over a tough Hemp Hill team. And it was much needed after, that program's been building. And, I was so excited and happy for them. I had a weekend-long smile from my San Augustine Wolves after that win the other night. So, Tennehaw, they got themselves a come-from-behind win against West Sabine last week. It's going to be a tough one. Tennehaw beat San Augustine in overtime last year. So, it's going to be a good game at San Augustine, and I think the Wolves are going to come out on top.
Sweet deal. I was following that score, and we kept giving updates going, I bet Larry is jumping out of his seat.
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't sit down long. I looked at the clock, and there was 4:14 over there. We were in the lead, and I was like, that thing can't say triple zeros fast enough for me.
hurry up clock. Hey, Shires, can you get a shot right over here of the staff at the pizzeria?
Yeah, the pizzeria, thank y'all.
They did us right.
Look, they're running from the cameras now.
Yeah, they heard me say that.
Way
May not
everybody
work.
back there now.
Yeah, it was
It's
like
all right.
they were
Thank
in
y'all for
high.
the pizza. You guys are awesome. And we're looking forward to a long season. And we're not going to be here just for football. Basketball season here, all the way through. We're going to be here for a long
We
time.
hope to continue this, and Pizzeria has been here almost my whole life. It was the only, when I
long
think of
time.
pizza, yeah, this is what I think about. It was
Is
the
it
first
the same
pizza.
place?
Different building, but it's always been the pizzeria. And I think this is the third building.
Okay, there you go.
It's good stuff, thank you. We'll be right back here next week. Hope you enjoyed the Rick Meeks Show live from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thanks to, well, you and your family for joining us. You were our only audience. Did you have a good time?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you did.
We're going to get a bigger audience down here next week.
Big thank you to Steve Waters at Sabine State Bank for bringing the show to you. Join us at 7 o'clock Friday night in Spring Hill for the Cornerstone Therapy pregame show. We'll visit with Rick in the JBA Coach Talk segment and Gaddy's Cheerleader Spotlight with Sayre Hall. The spotlight will shine on the senior. At halftime, Borders Poultry brings you up close and personal with Chris Smith, our longtime band director. Give us a little prognosis of what's to come. And of course, Bounds Insurance brings you the Shelby County Sweethearts, the Chaparrals, and Deb's Boutique brings you the Pride of Shelby County, the CHS Band. That's all in the Aurora Concepts halftime show. Stay with us through the Wiggins Farm post game, where we'll talk about the Dairy Queen play of the game, and the Center Motor Company player of the game. Wallington and Shires Productions brings it all to you on NetSN Live on YouTube and through your radios, KDT 9:30 a.m. So until Friday for the counselor.
Let me ask one question here.
All right.
Now you do a play of the game for DP, and I get to do a player of the game. So did you guys get me like some banana split or some shake coupons or Hungry Buster deals I can give to my player?
No, but I think you should.
Okay, I think we need to do that.
And while you're at it, you can get some
Get some for you.
I don't know why we
I
never
get
thought
some,
of that.
Get some free tacos for you. That's what you love.
Right. I don't know why I've never thought of that. You're smarter than I am. All right, until Friday then, for the counselor, Stephen Shires, for Larry, come on, Ref Pierce, for Rick, the AD Meeks, and I'm Chris, still looking for a middle name, Wallington. See you next week. Alan.
Oh, yeah, we'll figure something out.
Alan. See you next week from the pizzeria.
Three-point shot.
It's
Red Bulls takes it to the house. This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider broadcast team, brought to you by Watlington and Shires Productions.